So one of the things that relates to your practice area is that I realize some firms may have multiple practice areas, right? They may be a boutique who serves just one, maybe we're a real estate practice, or maybe you have real estate, you have personal injury, you have some family law, you have some business law, and you have some M&A. Well, this absolutely makes the process more difficult when selecting a practice management system because they're not all created equally to serve the same practice areas. And there are variances, nuances that present themselves depending on the practice area. So for example, I have a client down in Birmingham, Alabama, who operates a personal injury firm. They do standard motor vehicle cases, but they also perform, they take on toxic mold exposure cases, which are handled similarly to personal injury, but they're not exactly the same, right? They're still contingency based, but there's a lot of nuances there and data that they need to capture. Then they also have a family law side of the firm, and that is completely different. These matters are typically billed hourly. There's different documents that are required. There's different storage, that's required there. There's different court deadline calendaring there. It's all completely different. So how does a firm like this determine what case management system to ultimately go with when they have these varied practice areas? Well, ultimately it all comes down to, it does depend. And in general, I typically advise firms to figure out what practice area constitutes the majority of your firm's matters and to use that as your basis for selecting a system.